Hello, welcome to today's afternoon lesson, AM language with me, Richie. Welcome to today's lesson. Hope you're all doing well. In today's lesson, we are going to look at listening skills, and we're going to look at what are they saying. So here we're going to listen out for signpost words that can help us follow a conversation. Well, a speech maybe. We're also going to look at some language that we looked at the other day as well, some discourse markers. And if I just need to remind myself, so we've got signpost words. And soften your English for work. So we're going to have a little look at listening today, seeing what we're trying to say. Roberto, good afternoon. Richie says, Roberto, good afternoon. Marek says, good afternoon. Welcome to today's lesson. Hope you're all doing well. So we'll see how you guys get on today with the lesson. We'll wait for some more people to join us as well. We've already got a decent number. As always, make sure you follow the lesson in the live chat as well, because that's where the action happens. Edward 8, hi, good afternoon. Great to see you back here. I'm doing well, thank you. How are you doing, Edward? I hope you are well. Important, by the way, make sure you click on the links below. That way you get to see, you can get to have a look at the website. You can see how you can have actual live lessons at AMlanguage, and make sure you click on the links as well. If it is your first time, make sure you subscribe as well and like the video. Well, we're getting we're over the 560 mark now, I think, in terms of number of subscribers, so we're doing quite well. So Roberto and Marek, who were here the other day, I just want to see how much you remember, by the way. So feel free to, I just want to see how you guys do in terms of your memories. But let's actually start off with a little bit of a memory game over here. So if I say, for example, if I were to write, that's a stupid idea. How else could I say that? If I were to say, for example, that's a dumb. Hello, Arena F. Welcome to today's lesson. If I were to say this one here, that's a dumb suggestion. Okay. Oh, I've just realized what I did there. There should not be a question mark. Remove. Okay. So we've got two examples. One, that's a stupid idea. Two, that's dumb. That's a dumb suggestion. How else could I say that? So how could we... oh, hello, Alida. Good afternoon. Welcome to today's lesson. So in sentences 1 and 2, how can we say this? How can we say this? How can we say this in softer language? I think that's my real question here. So buenos dias, Alida, welcome to today's lesson, and Leondina, you too, welcome to today's lesson. It's great to see so many people here as well. Roberto says that idea has some problems with it and sounds misinformed, sounds incomplete. Okay, so Roberto has remembered some things from Monday's lesson. If I were to, let's say I wanted to say, thinking about yesterday, okay, so yesterday we had a look at signpost words. Okay, so signpost words. Those of you who are here yesterday, can you tell me, how can I introduce a topic? How can I do that? What language can I use? What language can I use? Roberta says for number 2, that's not an advisable suggestion. I feel that your suggestion is lacking to a degree. Okay, Roberto, well done. Those are some good examples from Monday's lesson. So yesterday we looked at signpost words, and my question is from yesterday's lesson, how can I introduce a topic? If you weren't in yesterday's lesson, have a go. Feel free to come in with your own suggestions. You might very well be right. Roberto says when introducing a topic, you could go with when discussing, and you could also go with regarding, which would work absolutely. How about this? I'm going to write a sentence and it's going to be incomplete. I would like you guys to choose one word to complete this. Actually, no, you've got choices of either one word or 2 words. Okay, 1 or 2 words, because you've got some options. Debek says, good afternoon, Debek, and welcome to today's lesson. So here we've got, how do you complete this? You can choose 1 word or you can choose 2 words. Okay, excited. So let's see what you come up with. We looked at some of the words you could use yesterday, but we have looked at some other versions of the word not the day before, but in past lessons. We've looked at language that we could use to complete a sentence like this. And then we'll get into today's lesson, where we're going to have to try and work our way through some of these things. So let's see what you come up with over here. Roberta says even though, and while. Alida says although, and Leandina says even though. Okay, good. Yeah, those are correct. I can accept all of those answers. And while as well. Excellent. Yes. Good. Excellent. Correct to all of those answers. Well done. Okay, guys, the next thing that we're now going to do is we're going to try and do a listening activity. What we're trying to do here is we're going to try and listen for the key information. Can we follow the key information? And then can you summarize the key information? So the first part, it primarily is a listening activity, but there's a writing element to it. The challenge of the writing element is if you can summarize it. Now, when summarizing, you don't need to worry too much about getting absolutely everything right grammatically. What I'm going to be more interested in is the meaning. And it's the meaning that we need to try and get. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put some questions. And these are the questions that you need to think about in order to do the listening. Okay. These are what we call prompts. Okay. Prompts. So is another word for suggestion. These are suggestions. Okay. So I'm not going to leave you without any sort of clue, but these are some prompts that can really help you with this. So the first sentence that you guys can think about is this one. Okay, so Actually, I'm going to reduce it to. I'm going to give you just 2 words. I'm going to give you 3 ideas, and with those 3 ideas, they're going to give you an idea of what the listening is going to be about. These words are just going to be prompts, suggestions, things to make you think about. Okay, so in the end, these are the 3 pointers that we need to think about with the listening. Okay, travel and eco-friendly, cost, practicality. So, guys, with that, because you've got three, these three, well, let's say 4 words. Okay, we've got 4 words that gives us an idea about the listening. Before we start, it always helps that we have a predicting activity. So, my question to you guys is this: can you predict what the listening might be about? Can you predict what the listening might be about? This is always really important. It helps us tune in. Okay, it's like tuning. Imagine you're tuning a guitar, for example. You're tuning the guitar. It's like tuning your ears. So it's like getting ready for the listening. And we're going to try and see if we can follow the listening. But before we do, can we have an idea what this listening activity might be about? So you've got 4 words: travel, eco-friendly, cost, practicality. What do you guys think this is going to be about? Okay. So feel free to put your ideas on in the live chat in terms of what you think it might be about. Okay, and then we'll go into the listening. It is a particular I mean, the topic should be quite clear, but it kind of gives you an idea of what the content might be about. I think that's the important thing here. So try and summarize for me in the live chat. What do you think this talk, well, this listening activity is going to be about? You've got words: travel, eco-friendly, cost, practicality. What do you guys think? The other thing here that's going to be of an element is that you will hear some words that we've looked at over the past 2 days. And but there's going to be a bit more of a natural feel to it. Okay, that's another element. So Alida says about the advantages of traveling in an eco-friendly way. Okay, fair enough. That's one idea. I think it's worth making, even maybe taking some ideas down for myself, actually, in terms of what some of you might end up saying. It'd be interesting to see at the end. Roberto says special kind of travel, making use of green transport instead of polluting ones. Okay, there we go. There's another idea. Maybe there's got some legs behind that one. And it's actually a really good phrase, actually. Maybe that idea has some legs. Or you could say there might be some legs behind that idea. This is quite a good one. Legs behind something. It means there might be something to it, basically. So those are 2 ways you can use it. Maybe that idea has some legs, or maybe you can say there might be some legs behind that idea. It's another way of saying, oh, there might be something to it. There's some good ideas there. Maybe we can do something with it. So that's a good expression to know. Okay, I'll give you guys just a little bit more time. You guys have come down with, you guys have written some interesting stuff here. Okay, so Okay. All right. So we'll get into the listening and we'll go from there. Okay, guys. So make sure you try, if you have a pen or a pencil, that will help. Make sure you have a piece of paper because it'll give you an opportunity to write down some words. What I want you guys to do is just in terms of note taking, okay, for yourself, okay, don't try and write every word. That's not going to be possible. I am going to speak at a fairly normal speed. When note taking, make sure you just write down keywords, okay? So this is where you're going to write down words like, okay, let's say keywords, okay, are usually going to be consisting of either nouns, yeah, mainly nouns and verbs, okay? That's usually what we're going to look at. Maybe adjectives if it's important, and maybe adverbs of frequency. Normal adverbs, very rarely. I wouldn't usually put down adverbs of just normal adverbs, but you might put down adverbs of frequency, such as often or rarely, for example. Those might be worth putting down, but you only need to write one word, single words, because then it gives you time to put the ideas together. So we'll begin. So when discussing the travel industry after COVID-19, the question is, are people going to care about the environment, or are they just going to travel? Some argue that the most popular type of travel, what has happened here? Sorry, something just randomly came up on my screen. So where was I? So I'll start again. So when discussing travel after COVID-19, the question is, are people going to care about the environment? Are we going to see a world where people go for eco-friendly holidays, or are people just going to try and book the most cost-effective holiday? Even though COVID-19 has had a major impact on the travel industry, a lot of research tells us that people will travel as soon as COVID is no longer a problem. Some research says that people will look for practical holidays that are not expensive. Some people argue that eco-friendly holidays will become even more important. In short, the main question is, can the travel industry combine COVID-friendly holidays that are cost-effective and practical? Okay. So I know there are quite a lot of words there that might be new to you, potentially, but don't forget, guys, we're just looking for meaning. That's all. We're just looking for meaning. I'll say it again. I'm going to add a little bit of an element to this, whereby you will hear me say the same thing again in terms of meaning. It won't be word for word, because I want to play around a little bit here. I'm trying to focus in on, can you follow the ideas? And therefore, we're looking to, if you might have heard me use some words that we looked at yesterday and the day before. The question is, even if we play around with the words just a little bit, can we still follow? So I'm going to say it again, okay? So, regarding COVID-19 and the travel industry, the question is, will people go for eco-friendly holidays, or will they just travel and look for the cheapest holiday? The travel industry has suffered during COVID-19. But even though it has suffered, a lot of research shows that people will travel after COVID-19. Some people argue that people will go for eco-friendly holidays. Others argue that people are going to go for practical holidays for the best price. In short, the question is, can the travel industry sell holidays that are eco-friendly, good value for money, and practical? Okay, guys. So have a go trying to put those ideas together. Now, you will have heard me change some of the words just a little bit, such as some of you might have picked up that the first time round I used the word when discussing. And the second time round I used regarding, for example. Some of you might have picked up some other differences, such as cost effective and value for, value for money, for example. These are synonyms of one another. So I've played around with the language just a little bit. The meaning was the same both times. The question is, can you guys tell me what that was about? So in order to answer that, I would like you to try and summarize what you heard. Okay? Now, when summarizing, you don't need to write a lot. What you want to do is try and write the main ideas. So let's say, now you can be thinking about this at the same time, and I will do it with you, okay? So you might have written down some important words. You might have written down travel, eco-friendly holidays. You might have written down, what else might you have written down? COVID-19, for example, and you might have written down a few other words. When attempting to summarize, remember, the idea is getting the meaning. We don't need to worry about writing exactly what the person has said. So this is the challenge. So your explanation, okay, your version of what I had said might sound something a little bit like this. Okay. Oops. Okay, so it will be, you could write something. I'm just going to give you an example of what you could write. Um, it doesn't complete the whole picture of what I said, but it's an example, and then you guys can come in and have a go. Okay, a leader has already come in with her answer. Let's see how it is. So, a leader said, regarding COVID-19, are people going to care about the environment, or are they just going to travel? Some will go for eco-friendly holidays. Others will choose practical holidays for the best price. Okay, thank you very much, Alida. I think that covers many of the points. If you want to add more to it, feel free to do. You might have to post twice in order to summarize everything that I said, because you only have 200, what's it called? I suppose units. I think we do it by units on YouTube. I think you only have, 200 units. So you only have 200 units that make up what you can post on the live chat. So have a go. I know that this might sound a little bit difficult, but one of the things you might sometimes find is that you can understand more than you can speak. That is not uncommon. That's really common. A lot of people, usually, a lot of students end up saying, you know what, Richie, I understand a lot, but I can't say as much as I understand. That's normal. And that will continue to happen. That happens no matter what level, to be honest. That happens at advanced level. So the question is, can we still summarize the main points? And that's always the goal. You don't need to write complicated language. De Burke says, will people travel in eco-friendly way more than before COVID-19 has started, or it is gonna be ordinary practical holidays with the best price? Well, De Burke, I think you have probably covered most of the things that I spoke about, and it's a good summary. In terms of the grammar, okay, it's not perfect, but you've got the main meaning there. Is there anything there that could change the meaning? Will people travel in eco-friendly way more than before COVID-19 has started? I'm going to show you this, actually, De Burke, because this potentially could change the meaning, and it depends where you put more. So I'm just going to change something, and I'll show you how it changes the meaning. Oh, people. Okay, so I've just changed one little bit of that sentence, De Burke. And what you'll see is how the meaning just slightly changes, okay? It's to do with, will people go for more, that should be eco-friendly. Oh gosh, let me do that again. I forgot the eco bit. I put friendly twice. That wasn't very good. Let me do that again. There we go. Will people go for more eco-friendly travel after COVID-19? So, De Burke, we need to think about two things there. The position of more and the preposition before and after. In the sentence that you had written, before COVID-19 has started, changes the meaning perhaps of what we were going for after COVID-19, that would then make sense. So we just need to think there about the position of more and the preposition of after and before. And then that would improve your overall sentence, your sentence, and the meaning of the sentence. So I'm only going to really correct something if it changes the meaning of the sentence. Okay, Roberto says, discussion about traveling during and after COVID-19. One question, do people choose between a cost-effective holiday or an eco-friendly one? And two, travel suffered a lot from COVID-19, but lots of people still want to travel after it. Three, eco-friendly will become more and more important. For final question, can travel combine cost-effective with practical and eco-friendlinessly? Really close there, Roberto. I think a lot of that was really good. I think it's just the eco-friendlinessly at the end. I would have just gone with, can travel combine cost-effective with practical and eco-friendly elements. So instead of friendlinessly, I would go with eco-friendly elements, and then that would probably be better. Okay, but some really good stuff there. And like I said, I'm only going to pick up on things to do with that might change the meaning. Now we're going to do one more listening. Okay, I'm going to do one more listening, and I'm going to try. We're just going to. Oh yes, I know that word was terrible. Oh, not to worry, Roberto. So we're going to do one more listening. Okay. Again, I'm going to then ask you just to take down the key points. It's going to be a shorter listening, though. Leondina says the question is about what will be happening in the travel industry after COVID-19. What are people going to choose between eco-friendly holidays and effective costs? Okay, from a meaning point of view, Leondina, I think you might want to think about the first sentence. In terms of, do you need a question mark perhaps at the end, or is this just a sentence? That's the first thing. The second thing we need to think, there's a fly around me. The second thing we probably need to think about, what are people going to choose between? Again, I think we don't need to stop that second bit with what. I think, are people going to choose? That's the only thing there. I think that's an are question rather than a what question. But I can tell that you've got the meaning there. So great, well done. Okay, guys, let's look at the next one, okay? You'll hear some more language from yesterday and the day before. This is going to be a much shorter listening. And again, let's see if we can summarize it. So let's go for it. With regard, no, I'm going to go with, I'm not going to introduce a new one. So when discussing the future of the car industry, people like to talk about two types of cars. There's the electric car, and then there is the liquid hydrogen car. Both are more eco-friendly than the petrol car. But the biggest question is, which one is going to be more practical? Which one is going to be better for the consumer? Which one is going to be more popular? Okay, so I'll say that again. This time I haven't given you any clues in terms of what the listening was going to be about, but you've now listened to it. So let's go again. Okay, in case anyone's just joined late, we're just talking, I will tell you that at least listening is to do with the future of the car. Okay, so we'll go again. When discussing the future of the car, we have to think about two future forms of fuel. Are cars going to be electric, or are they going to be powered by liquid hydrogen? Both are going to try and replace the petrol car. But the question is, which one is going to be better for the consumer? Which one will be more cost effective? Which one will be more popular? So that's the second listening. We're talking about to do with cars and the future of cars. As you can hear, you've probably heard me change one or two words again. Let's see if you can summarize what that last listening was about. So significantly shorter. It's an interesting question about the cars side of things, because in 2030 or 2030, petrol cars will no longer be made. And there is a really big question. What will our cars look like? What will power the car? Will we be able to use the car in the same way that we currently do? Can you simply get in your car and drive? Or, you know, can you drive 400 miles? Will you be able to drive 400, 500, 600, 700 kilometers without having to, you know, fill up with petrol, so to speak, or change, in this case, maybe change the battery or charge? So there's some really interesting questions that surround the car. Let's see what you guys have come up with. If you want me to say again, that's absolutely fine. Roberta has come in with future car industry discussing two types of cars, electric car and liquid hydrogen. Okay, I think that's a good start. Feel free to add more. What are the main questions that we have to ask when it comes to that? If you want me to say the listening again, just let me know. Roberto says, both are eco-friendly. Which one is one? Oh, right. Both are eco-friendly. Which one is one more practical, two more popular, and more better cost effective, and better for the consumer? It almost looks like you've put okay, I see what you've done there. Okay, yeah, I think those covers the main. I think those cover the main points. Okay, let's see if anyone else would like to come in here, and feel free to give me your own ideas as well. Alida says there are two types of cars in the future car industry: electric cars and liquid hydrogen, hybrid cars. Oh, I see, hybrid cars you put. Both are more eco-friendly than petrol. By the way, than petrol. I know that it's than and then can sometimes sound a little bit similar, but in this case it should be than. But which one is going to be better? Popular and cost effective. Okay, good. I think Alida, you've summarized those points. And Leondina says, what will be the future of the car industry? Electric or liquid hydrogen? Okay. Good, guys. I can see how you guys are doing there. I think Leondina is going to say something a little bit more. And then we'll finish off with a question. We'll finish off with a little question over here. Yeah, guys, the than and then can sometimes sound a little bit confusing. One has an a sound, the other one has an e sound. The meaning is going to change because it's a different word. But sometimes some people can make the mistake, and it's understandable. yes, we are talking about liquid hydrogen cars rather than liquid hybrid cars in this case, specifically. Okay. Well, guys, I'm going to finish off with a simple question, which is what type of holidays will you look to book after COVID-19? Leondina has continued by saying, even though, really good use of even though both are eco-friendly, the discussion is around which one is more practical and most popular. I think there, and which one is, I think here we need to use which one is going to be more popular and the most uh, the most practical. I think my main point there, which one is going to be, because you're talking about the prediction, a question to do with the future. So which one is it going to be? Okay, and then that would be very good. Okay, guys, so what type of holidays will you look to book after COVID-19? So that's what I'm going to finish with today. I'm going to finish with that question. Please let me know in the live chat section what type of holidays will you look to book after COVID-19. For me, I would say there's so many holidays, places I want to visit. I've done a lot of traveling. I do want to go back to Argentina because I want to go to Patagonia. But after COVID-19, I think I'm going to spend a bit more time traveling around parts of Europe that I haven't visited yet. So I've visited everywhere pretty much in Western Europe, or most places in Western Europe, but I haven't been really be too far to the east. So I like the idea of going to. Actually, you know what? I haven't been to Germany yet. So I think places like Denmark, um, Poland, Germany. I think for me, maybe Slovenia are high on my list. Those are places I would like to visit. In terms of what type of holiday, definitely more adventure holidays. I like adventure holidays. I like being outside. And I think adventure holidays might be quite eco-friendly as well, um, because of the physical element to it. But let me know, what type of holidays will you look to book after COVID-19? Do you guys think you might go to another country, rent a car and drive? Do you think you might go for educational holidays? Or do you think maybe you might say to yourself, even after COVID, maybe you won't feel safe enough to travel? Um, or maybe, yeah, maybe it's an educational holiday. So let me know, what type of holidays will you look to book after COVID-19? Um, we still have some time to go though before the end of COVID-19. We have got the vaccine. The vaccine is now being used in different parts of Europe, the UK, for example. I know Malta are going to start using the vaccine as well. I think from next week. I think, if I'm not mistaken. So we can begin to feel maybe a little bit optimistic, I would say. Okay. There is this terrible fly around me, and it's really annoying. Okay, so guys, thank you. Oh, Roberto has said, I'd like to go to New Zealand next year. I heard there are lots of natural scenery there. I think here, Roberto, because you've gone with I would like to go to New Zealand next year, go with a present perfect. I've heard. There are lots, I've heard, because you're talking about an experience because people have told you. So go with the present perfect there. I've heard there are lots of natural scenery, lots of, yeah, natural scenery, lots of natural beauty. you could change that up as well. But yeah, most important, go with the present perfect there. Alida says, I will surely travel nearby. Traveling abroad became impossible since the dollar. You'll need the article the, actually. The dollar has... you've gone for shoot up. Shoot, shot. Okay, shoot, shot. Close, Alida. Has shot up in Argentina. Yep, it will make traveling a lot harder. Leondina says, I'd like to go to Australia again, but immediately after COVID-19, I think I'm going to travel around Italy. Well, Leondina, Italy is a beautiful place. I don't blame you. And look, I have been to Australia and I've been to New Zealand. I think both of them are amazing countries. I would love to go back. But I think after COVID-19, it might be really difficult. I think flights are going to be very expensive, and it's probably going to be quite difficult. Yes, Alida, well done. Yes, shot up. Okay, guys, thank you so much. And thank you for joining the lesson today. De Burke says, I would like to travel around Europe, especially in Italy. Okay, I think a pattern is developing here. Clearly, Italy is on the list. Especially, and then you've put in 2. I'm not sure where you're going to put the 2. If you just said, I would like to travel around Europe, yes, especially Italy, that would be fine, De Burke. I don't think you need to put 2 anywhere. You're absolutely fine. So guys, if you have enjoyed today's lesson, make sure you like the video and subscribe if you are new. Just to remind you that tomorrow is Thursday. I think it's Thursday tomorrow. It is Thursday tomorrow. And tomorrow we are going to look at constructive criticism. Yes, how to be tactful. Really important. Join me tomorrow for that lesson. A very important skill to know how to do in English. Alida, you're welcome. Thank you very much and take care as well. Hope to see you soon. Arena F, thanks, Richard. Have a good afternoon and take care. You're welcome. Thank you very much, Arena F. Leondina, you too. Have a lovely evening. Marek, thank you very much for joining and hopefully see you soon. And Roberto, thanks. Enjoy your evening. You too. Thank you very much, everybody. To everybody who participated in the live chat section today, thank you very much for doing so. Everyone who was, to everyone who's watched the lesson live or at the end of the lesson, after the lesson, sorry. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It always helps to see the interaction. So have a really good day, have a good evening, and see you tomorrow, same time, 3 o'clock. Bye for now.